Good afternoon from Tallinn. I hope that you all can hear me. My name is Christina. I'm head of sales at One Office Group. And today we are very happy to have a webinar talking about Estonian company setup, and also Transferwise will join us and speak about business account setup, which is probably something that people are very interested in. If you have any questions, then please add them to questions tab. We will take the questions after I have done my presentation and after Transferwise has done their talk. Hope that you will have good time and that you enjoy the webinar. So let's get started. 1 second. All right. So we started this webinar just to go over again about what are the options to set up a location-independent business, and I will be speaking about from the Estonian viewpoint. And Transferwise will let you know how to set up a business account for that. First of all, when we speak about Estonian company, then to set up Estonian company and to do it entirely online, one has to have e-residency card. And what e-residency is? So it's a digital status that government has given to foreigners, and it is given because then foreigners can access the same services that Estonians can do. As it says, it's stored to Estonian e-services and it's government initiative, which means that we basically allow foreigners to do the same things that Estonians can do. And e-residency is a physical card. It comes with the PIN codes, and as you can see from the photo, it's a dark blue card with the chip. And this is the key that enables you to log in to different services, or to tax office, to business registry, and so on. And the PIN codes enable you to give digital signatures. The e-residency is not identity or a travel document. It's not a visa. So if you have the e-residency card, then this doesn't allow you to enter a Schengen area. You still have to apply for the visa separately, and it's not a residence permit or tax residency. It means that all these bureaucratic steps still have to be done separately. And one of the main misconceptions about e-residency is that it is a kind of a tool to avoid taxes. So this is definitely not the case. If somebody gets e-residency card and establishes the company in Estonia, then whether the taxes are paid here or there depends very on a specific case. And about taxes, I will be speaking a bit later on. So the e-residency is, since it's government initiative, there's also state fee. The state fee is 120 euros. You do have to pick up the card in person, and the reason is because you have to give fingerprints, your biometric data. And that's why nobody else can do it on your behalf. You can apply for it online. It's really easy. You just fill in the form. You upload your passport copy or ID card copy, and you basically provide a passport photo. And based on that, they will run the background check. Usually it takes about 2 to 3, 4 weeks. And after that, they will send the approval saying that you have been approved, you can get the e-residency card. And after that, they will send the card to your pickup location. And then you have to go there in person. We strongly recommend to browse around on e-residency website. There is a knowledge base and learn website where you can get much information about the Estonian company, what are the rules, regulations, and so on. And the most why people get e-residency, the most popular option is that they want to register a company. And the second option is that people who already have Estonian company, they use e-residency to manage their business in a more easier way, because most of the things in Estonia you can do online. It's like only a couple of things that you are not able to do online, but most of the things here in Estonia we can do online remotely. So when we speak about setting up Estonian company or any business actually, then first thing is to do your research, to think through your business plan, your business model, what are the obligations and responsibilities of the company and business, what is the case with taxes, where should they be paid, what are the rates, what are the requirements for accounting, and so on. So this is the research that that all the service providers can help you with, also we at One Office. Second thing is to think about ownership and management structure. So whether you want to set up a solopreneur enterprise, whether you have another company as a founder, whether you have 10 founders and 1 board member, and so on. So it all depends what kind of business you do, whether you have business partners, and so on. About a bit of fun or kind of cool task is to choose a name for the company. In Estonia, you can't choose already existing name or something that is very similar to existing name. There has to be at least 3-4 letter difference. And another thing is that if a name or the word is protected by EU trademark, then this is also something that you can't use unless you have the trademark owner's permission to use this certain word or a trademark protected name. Another thing, of course, the company does some kind of business, so you have to choose what is the field of activity. When in Estonia we register the companies, you can mark down only one main activity, but it doesn't mean that you can't do anything else. And when you do choose the field of activity, it doesn't have to match 100% with what you do. It's more like a general field of the business. If it doesn't describe everything that you do, then don't worry about that. And in Estonia, we have a share capital, which is mandatory. The minimum amount is 2,500 euros. It can be higher as well. So this is again up to the founder whether to do it, whether to put it as 2,500 or whether to put it in some another amount. And the share capital, there's a thing that when you register the company, you don't have to actually have this 2,500 or any other amount in cash or be transferred to company's account, but you can actually defer the payment. It means you can do it later on. The founder or the shareholder decides how soon this share capital payment is done. Only trick is that if the founder hasn't done the contribution, then the founder or the shareholder can't take out profit from the company. So this is the thing to consider. When all these aspects are thought through, then you also have to be aware about the Estonian company's responsibilities. The main thing is that if in Estonia you have the company registered in Estonia, but the board members, the management board is not located in Estonia, which is usually the case when you speak about e-residence, then the company has to have the contact person. And the contact person acts only as an intermediate between the company and government, the board member and government, and in most cases the government will contact contact person if they can't reach the board member. And by law, contact person's address is company's legal address, so there won't be separate address field. Nowadays in the registry we have a board's location address, which can be a foreign address, and then there's contact person and contact person's address. Another thing is accounting and annual report. So every company has to do accounting. The only question is when it is done, whether it's done in every month, whether it's done only once per year for the annual report. The companies who have Estonian VAT numbers and the companies who pay salaries in Estonia, they have to do accounting every month. And this is because we declare salary taxes and VAT every month on monthly basis. The companies that have very simple business lines and don't have VAT numbers and don't pay salaries, they can choose how often they do the accounting. They can also do it on monthly basis, but they don't have to report to the government or to the tax office, and they can also just put together all the year's accounting for the annual report. And annual report is something that is mandatory for each company, even if the company is dormant or even if the company hasn't had any business activity, hasn't opened any accounts. Still, it has to submit the annual report to the business registry. And when we speak about annual reports, then in Estonia, the company has 6 months to submit the annual reports when starting from the end of the financial year. And usually, companies choose the financial year to be calendar year, but it can be chosen anything else as well. So another is the share capital contribution or share capital registration, which I already mentioned. So when you have the share capital amount, at some point founder has to transfer it to company's bank account. And once that is done, the share capital has to be registered in e-business registry as well. By law, the share capital contribution can be done to any European Economic Area bank or fintech provider, but in practice, because you have to get the certificate proving this transaction, and then I know that some of the European banks don't issue the certificates in Estonian and digitally signed, so that's why later on Transferwise also introduces how the process goes with them. And Transferwise can accept the share capital contributions and also provide you with digitally signed Estonian certificate, which you can present to the business registry. And of course, the very important thing is taxes. So every company has to pay taxes at some point in some country. And the only question is where and when and what are the rates. So the taxes depend on the tax residency of the company. And there are 2 different levels. So we are speaking about the company level and we are speaking about the personal level. The taxes that company pays and the taxes that the private person pays, these are not considered as double taxation. Double taxation is only when one and the same tax is paid twice in different countries. And when we speak about tax residency, then tax residency is usually determined by permanent establishment. And permanent establishment is created in most cases by the fact where the board member is located. So if we have Estonian company, but this Estonian company has been established by a German person who is a German tax resident and lives permanently in Germany and runs the company from there, so the management location is in Germany, then this means that the Estonian company has a permanent establishment in Germany and should pay taxes according to German regulations and rules and rates as well. When we speak about Estonian taxes, then if the company is Estonian tax resident, then we have the 0% corporate income tax rule. It means that in Estonia, the company doesn't pay corporate income tax on earned income, but it does pay profit tax, which is corporate income tax, which is 20% from profit payouts gross amount. So it means that even though in Estonia we have this really cool taxation option, then you have to be really careful to see whether it applies to you as well. And Estonia has double tax treaties signed with very many countries. I believe it was over 60. So if the country, if your country and Estonia have signed the double tax avoidance treaty, it means that if taxes are paid either in Estonia or the other country, then they are not paid they are not paid double. So this would be the summary of the taxes that you have to be aware of. And don't hesitate to contact tax offices or tax consultants to hear more about it. Because it's really important to understand taxation before you actually start to do business, just to avoid very unpleasant surprises. So when we speak about company setup, then it's very easy to apply for the residency card. This is step number one. Then you have the waiting game, that you have to wait for the approval, and you have to wait for the notification once the card is at the pickup location, and then you just have to travel there to physically pick it up and give your fingerprints. After you have the card, then the card is activated in 1 working day. Basically, you pick it up today, and tomorrow you can already use it. Then it's really easy to actually register the company online. And in Estonia, the company registrations are done in 1 business day. If the registry doesn't ask you to amend the name or doesn't have any other questions about your company registration form. As soon as you have the company has been inserted to the registry and has the registry code, then you can open a Transferwise account, and Transferwise will go through the steps there as well. Basically, then you are set to start your business activities. And when I have here that you can start the company registration online and through My One Office, so the My One Office platform is our renewed company formation portal, and it has new features now. Because we have a vision that we want, or our slogan also says making business simple. So we have a vision that we want to make entrepreneurs' life as easy as possible, that you can concentrate on your core business, and we take care of all the boring stuff like accounting and anything else that back office usually does. Then My One Office platform is the home for your business. It combines itself the company formation side. Our company formation platform is directly linked to e-business registry, so everything goes really smooth and fast. The company formation form itself is much easier than in the e-business register, for instance, and we take care also of the state fee payment. In a business registry, you would have to do it yourself, and it's a bit tricky. Then we have their virtual office section. It means that the contact person and address related services are combined under there. If government sends you or somebody sends you letters, then you can access securely all your letters there. There won't be any more sending scanned letters over email. So we are quite excited about that, and this brings our services to the totally whole new next level. And of course, we have an accounting section there that if somebody, as I spoke earlier, that some companies have to do accounting on a monthly basis, some don't, then basically you can have a sales invoicing tool at My One Office platform as well. Perhaps you don't have need for the dedicated accountant yet, but this gives you a chance to actually issue sales invoices on your own and keep the accounting costs lower. We also have knowledge base where we have included all our consultation information about the VAT, about taxes, about how to change address in the business registry. So all the steps and information and matters that are really important to entrepreneurs, we have tried to combine in one place. And of course, we are constantly adding new topics there as well. So first you have a place to search information, and if you need any help, then our consultants and accountants can help you out. And so this is not only it. We are planning to develop it even further. We have big plans, but what we can shout out right now is that we will also have a translation section and legal contract templates there. So if you would have a need for, let's say, employment contract, then you can go to my OneOffice platform and easily get the template for you and amend it and add your information if needed. And with translation, there will be also, it's a new, very exciting platform where you can actually get the translation back in a matter of seconds or minutes. So we are implementing that also to my OneOffice platform. And this is not only it. We plan to have an app there and so on, so on. So this is still a work in progress, although we launched a couple of weeks ago already. So when we speak about from registering company in my OneOffice, then basically you just need to sign up. On our website is the link where to go. You sign up using your email address. So this email address will be your primary email that you can use to log in later on as well. And when you sign up, then you get a verification email. You have to click on the link to verify it, and then you can log in and start the company in Estonia. And the company information form actually asks the same thing that I spoke about earlier. So the company name, the field of activity, what is the structure of the company, who is the founder, how many founders, who is the board member, how many board members, and also the contact details and so on. And when you are in our My OneOffice, then you can also choose banking options like Transferwise. Once you have filled all the fields, then you have to use your Eresidency card. You have to have the Eresidency card connected to the card reader and card reader to the computer, and then you can use your PIN to digitally sign your petition for the company registration. And the last step is to pay, and then we pay the state fee and send the petition away to the registrar. And usually in 99% of cases, the company is registered within 1 working day, but we have also seen that the fastest have been in 1 or 2 hours. So this is quite fast from the government side. So this is the brief overview of the company information side, and I will give floor now to Transferwise, who will be speaking about what is the next step, how you can actually open up your business account, what are the frequently asked questions. So let me, one moment, let me really fast add Umi here. And then we have also here Julie from Transferwise. And we have also Lisbeth, so they will be speaking, covering all Transferwise. All right. So Umi and Julie and Lisbeth, you can turn on your microphones and videos and start presenting.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Is the audio working?
Yes, I can see you, Julie and Lisbeth. I don't have Umi here.
She's going to join us. Let's give her 2 seconds to figure out the webinar technology.
All right, but perhaps you can make the introduction already until we wait Umi to join us again.
Sure. So we are we're part of the business solutions team at Transferwise. So our role is to help businesses and find Transferwise, understand all of the different products that we can offer, and then help them create their accounts and integrate our API. And then Lisbeth is also a part of this team. I don't know if you want to introduce yourself.
Yeah, what Julie said, I work also with larger business customers, helping them set up the accounts and make sure that their journey in Transferwise is a success.
Awesome. So Umi, can you hear us? I think I can see your microphone is activated. Okay. Can I share screen?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Let's see how I can do this.
So it's a button under video.
Right. So give me 30 seconds. I'm not sure how to put the presentation on the screen, actually. I see the button to share screen, but can you actually see my screen?
But let me do one thing. So I made you presenter, so see if you can start now.
Can you see my screen now?
Now we can see your screen.
Awesome. So let's go in present mode. Awesome. Everybody can see my screen. So this is a quick agenda for the day. We just wanted to kind of recap what Transferwise is about, our mission, and how we enable payments through our Rails. And then we'll go into the Transferwise product and the different business features that we have available. And then Lisbeth will walk you through how to actually get started, create your account, and go through verification. So to kick things off, we have a very simple mission here at Transferwise, which is to make money without borders. So instant, convenient, transparent, and eventually free. And as you can see, our mission statement here clearly reflects our 4 core product pillars. There's speed, there's convenience, there's transparency, and then there's price. So we'll go into these a bit later and dive a bit deeper into what they mean and where we're at the moment in achieving this mission. But this is really what everybody at Transferwise aims to achieve. So a bit about our numbers and where we're at today. So we were founded in 2011, and over the past 10 years, we've acquired 8 million customers. That's a mix of both individual customers and also business customers. We transfer every month 5 billion in total volume of payments, which equals 60 billion every year. That is passing through our rails. And what this means is by using Transferwise and not their bank, our customers every year altogether save $1.5 billion in banking fees. And most of our growth is word of mouth. So what this means is a customer tries out our product, really likes it, and will go recommend this product to their friends, to their family. So it's a really, let's say, self-sold product. So how did we actually get here, and how does Transferwise work? So to the left is the SWIFT banking network. So this is what is traditionally used by banks. As you can see, it's an association of a bunch of different banks. And when you make a payment through the SWIFT network, your money is physically crossing borders and physically being held by all of the different banks that are involved in this process. What this means is it's very slow, and it's also pretty expensive because every bank in this process will decide to take a little part of a fee, which ends up being very, very expensive to the customer. So what we've done at Transferwise is we've created an alternative to this network. So we basically have bank accounts around the world, and when you make a payment with Transferwise, your money isn't physically crossing borders. It's simply going it's basically 2 domestic payments. So if I'm sending money from Estonia in this example to the US, I will pay euros to Transferwise's euro account. So that is a domestic payment. And then Transferwise, once we've received this payment, will issue your funds through our US bank account to the recipient. So that's another domestic payment. So for us, it's really a treasury play of making sure that we have the right amount of money in all of our different bank accounts, and just making sure that we can serve all of the transfers. But what this means is we basically cut out all of the middlemen that are involved in the SWIFT network. So we're really able to cut down our costs compared to using a bank, and we're also able to really speed up transfers. So we talked about the mission statement a bit earlier. What are the different product pillars that Transferwise optimizes for? So we have 60 autonomous product teams at Transferwise that all solve for one of these pillars or even multiple pillars. So if we think about the mission, and if we look at price to start with, our mission is to be eventually free, but we're still pretty far away from that, but we've still made good progress. So currently, our price is 0.70% of a payment. We only use the mid-market exchange rate. That means that there's no extra hidden fee that is taken when you make a payment with Transferwise. All of the fees that will be involved in the payment process are clearly stated up front. There's no bad surprises. And then we're also developing discounts that are based on the monthly transacted volume of a customer. That will be live in product early Q4, so we can tell you more about that when we get there. Another pillar, is transparency. So the idea is for you to be in the know at all times of what's happening with your payments. So being in the know of how much is going to cost you, and being in the know of where is your money and when will it reach your recipient. So at Transferwise, there's full visibility on the fees. We always tell you exactly what you'll be paying for. But there's another aspect of transparency, and we really take it to the next level. We are able to actually estimate the time that it will take for a payment to reach your recipient. So these estimates, 90% of them today are accurate within 2 hours, or actually they reach your recipient earlier than what we expected. So you're really able to know at every point of time when your payment will reach your recipient, which is very useful if you think about payments that have a deadline, like an invoice payment. And you can track your payments throughout the process. So in your account, you're able to see all of the payments that you've made and where they're at. So you have different statuses, but we also are able to notify your recipient so that they also know when the money will reach them. And we do this through email notifications. Another important aspect of our mission is speed. So we would like all of our payments to be to take less than 20 seconds. It should be, as fast as sending an email, for example. Currently, 33% of our payments are instant. In January, this number was 25%, so we've made good progress here. And a vast majority of them take actually less than a day. But we don't only look at speed in terms of delivering our payments, we also look at speed in terms of having a really great customer experience when you're using our product or when you're creating an account with us. So currently, 95% of our customers are verified in less than a day. And then our last pillar is convenience. So how do you access Transferwise? And how convenient can it be also for your recipients? So the first aspect is for your recipients. They will receive all of their payments directly to their bank accounts. So we're not like PayPal. The recipient doesn't have to have a Transferwise account. They're paid directly into their local bank account in their local currency. They don't need to deal with any type of currency conversion. And the second aspect of convenience is obviously for you, the customers. So you can access Transferwise through web, through app, and we have different features that are available that we'll look at a little bit later, but batch payments, API integrations, having multiple users access your Transferwise account, and also reporting, which we know is very important to businesses. And then obviously an important part of our mission is to reach everybody whoever they are and wherever they're based in the world. So coverage is actually our 5th product pillar, because it's completely irrelevant to have a great product if it's not actually accessible. So currently we serve 56 currencies around the world. There are currencies that you can both send and fund payments in, which we call source and target currencies, and there are certain currencies that you can only send out to recipient. So to give you an example, you can both send out euros to a recipient and also pay for your payments with euro, but currently you can only send out Thai baht, for example, to a recipient. We'll send you as a follow-up a full list of our coverage. But there's more to coverage. We'll see this a little bit later in the presentation, but it's not just about enabling currencies. So we've developed new product features like local account details, so having the ability to receive payments into your Transferwise account, and currently 6 currencies are enabled here. We've also developed a card product that allows our customers to spend their currencies around the world, wherever you are. So that's kind of how we think about coverage. And we've also developed our product to fit local demand. So for example, in Asia and in Africa, a lot of people use wallets. So we've developed now payments to wallets in these countries because we know that that is important to our customers there. And we're also developing new payment options, like paying directly to cards to people in Spain or Ukraine, for example. We can share a bit more information about this as a follow-up. So if we look at our product suite, maybe I'll just make a 30-second pause. I don't know if Umi has joined us.
She's still having trouble, so troubleshooting.
Okay, I'll keep going. So in terms of the product suite, so Transferwise can be accessed through web, through app, or through an API if you'd like to integrate our different capabilities directly in your backend to fit your payments process. That's also available. So there are different things that you can do with the Transferwise account. The first one is you can send money, and you send money to bank accounts or to wallets. We have 56 target currencies that are currently available, and typically sending money is great for supplier invoice payments or even international payroll. With the Transferwise account, you can also receive payments just like a local. So we'll go into this a bit more detail later, but the account comes with local account details to receive payments just as if you had opened a physical bank account in these countries. So this is super helpful if you think about receiving payments from your customers or even refunds from different businesses. The account also allows you to hold and to convert currencies directly in your account. So you can hold 49 different currencies at the moment in this account, and it's available currently in 170 countries. This typically is helpful if you think about managing treasury, or you're going to have to make a payment in a few months and you want to hedge your position on a certain currency. Then last but not least, the account, you're also able to order a debit card that will allow you to spend abroad for business travel expenses, for example, or spend online to make any online acquisitions. So what does this actually look like when you make a payment with Transferwise? So this is a screenshot that is taken from my Transferwise account, but this calculator is actually available to anybody on the Transferwise homepage. So we're looking at a few things here. The first is GBP is the currency that I'm looking to fund my payment with, and I'd like to make a payment to somebody in euros. And if you look here, you can also see that I'd like to send out £1,000. So the first bit of information that we see here is the fee. So this is the fee that Transferwise will take from this payment to process this payment. We operate at a cost plus margin basis. So typically our fees will be a lot lower than banks. Here, as you can see, for a GBP to euro payment, the fee is roughly 0.39%. And we basically deduct this fee from the total amount that you'd like to send, and that leaves us with the amount that we will now convert at mid-market rate. So the mid-market rate is here. It is pulled live from Reuters every second. So it really is the live mid-market rate at which banks around the world are both buying and selling currencies. once you have, let's say, set up a payment in your Transferwise account, the rate will be locked for 24 hours. And that's just to make sure that you have enough time to then like go and fund your payment and that the rate is not moving. So this basically leaves us, once we've deducted the fees and converted at mid-market rate, this is the guaranteed amount that your recipient will get in their bank account once you've made this payment. And they will not receive less, a penny less than what you can see here. You can also use this calculator the other way around. So let's say you're making an invoice payment and you know that you need to pay exactly 1,500 euros to a supplier. You can input the amount that you want the recipient to receive here, and we'll work backwards and let you know how much you should fund your payment with. We can also see that there's a cost, let's say a potential savings that we've calculated versus using a bank. If you were to click on compare price here, it would take you to our comparison widget. So we have a full team that spends their time scraping different rates from our competitors and from different banks, and kind of working out how many fees they're actually taking from their customers. So you can play around with that if of interest. And of course, the delivery estimate, which we talked about earlier. So we talked about earlier the local account details. So with your account comes 6 account details. So 1 to receive US dollars, just as if you had an account in the US. 1 to receive British pounds, just as if you had an account in the UK. And same goes for Euro, Singapore dollar, Australian dollar, and New Zealand dollar. Singapore, we just launched and we're very excited about this new feature. So to give you an example, for Euros, you get an IBAN, and you can share this IBAN with anybody in the Eurozone, and they don't know that you don't technically have a physical account in Europe. So it's really just like having an account with any bank. And same goes for British pound. I personally use my account number and sort code in the UK to receive my salary payment. I can set up direct debits to pay my bills. It's truly just like a bank account, but it's just international because it comes with details to receive multiple currencies. Actually, Lisbeth will talk to you as well later in the presentation to show you how to activate these and how you can start using them. And then just wanted to quickly go through the different features that we have enabled for businesses. So the first one is multi-user access. So you can have both admins and viewers on your account. So an admin would be able to set up a payment, fund a payment, and really manage the account. And a viewer would be able to simply see the different transactions and pull reports. So that's an important feature for our businesses. We also have very good reporting tools. So you can pull account statements, transfer history with all of the different transfer details, account ownership documents, and many more different useful reporting documents. There's both CSV and PDF formats available, and this can all be pulled directly from your account or over the API, depending on how you wish to use your Transferwise account. And then we have 2 types of features that allow you to automate some of your payments. So batch payments is a CSV file upload where you're able to combine different payments. So you can pay individuals and businesses, and either make domestic or cross-currency payments, as long as the source currency, so the currency that you will pay all of these payments with, is the same. So for you, the customer, it's one transfer to Transferwise, and then Transferwise will distribute all of these payments through our rails. And at the moment, there's a capacity to make up to 1,000 payments in one CSV file. We also provide you directly in your account with the different templates that you might need to make these payments. And then last but not least, the API, if you're looking to automate some of your processes and adapt Transferwise payments to an existing workflow, that is also available. And it's actually an open API, so all of the documentation is available directly on the internet through our website. And now I'll hand over to Lisbeth.
Thanks, Julie. So yeah, I'm now going to walk you through the process of setting up the account in Transferwise and also how to get it verified. So So first of all, the Transferwise account is really easy to set up, and as we're a fully online business, then there are no face-to-face meetings required, so everything can be done online. So to get started with the account, you actually just need to go to the Transferwise homepage, and there is the registration button, which takes you to this screen that you can see on the right. So as a first step, you just need to give us your email address and choose a password, and also tell us where your business is registered. Now, quick thing to mention also here that we don't have any monthly or yearly fees to set up the account. So there are no commitments in this sense. So we operate totally on a pay-as-you-go model. So basically only pay us if you make transactions.
And I think, Elizabeth, just to add a little bit here, we will be sending you a special link to create your Transferwise account. So don't go to transferwise.com, because we'll send you a special link with a free transfer actually after the webinar.
Yep. So after you have entered your email address and chosen a password, then 3 steps are following. So first, we just ask you to tell us very basic details about your business. So you can see that you will, again, choose the country where your business is registered. And then you will also need to tell us the company type, the business name, registration number, and address. Now, it's really important here that you enter those details as accurately as possible, because this helps us to verify your account faster and more conveniently for you. So for instance, in Estonia, if you enter the correct registration number, then we can pull a lot of the information of the Estonian business registry. So this saves you time, and it also saves our time to complete the verification process faster. Then next up, also another thing we need to know about your business is your business category. This is basically just you telling us the industry that you are active in. It could be IT, consulting, marketing, retail. You have the options in the drop-down menu. There is also a subcategory that specifies even more what your business is doing. And lastly, we also ask if you have a website or a social media profile. So this is all for us to gather the information that our verification team needs to get the business set up and verified. Now, because you are setting up the account for the business, then we also need to know some details about yourself. So with each business profile, we also need a personal profile attached to it, which means that we also ask for your personal details, such as your name, date of birth, phone number, and where you live. So basically, this means that you also need to have authorization from the business to represent it. And you're also the main contact person for us to get in touch anything that relates to the business account. And for most business type, we also need to verify your identity. So this is also done online, either by requesting your passport, national ID, or a driver's license. Yep. And finally, when we have received all your business and personal details, then the account is essentially set up. That being said, now that we have your detail, it doesn't mean that your business is already verified. So in order for your business to actually be verified, you also need to either set up a transfer and pay for it, or you need to request a, or like you need to open this multi-currency account that gives you bank details and allows you to receive money. So I'm going to talk about verification more in the next slides now. So first of all, maybe it's important to start with why we do the verification. So just like if you open a bank account in any traditional bank, then you're required to provide documentation and details that essentially verify yourself and your business. So Transferwise is no different. We're also a regulated financial institution, which means that we need to comply with various regulations in each jurisdiction that we operate in. So it's also important for us to know who our customers are, and also make sure that they meet our acceptable use policy. So that's why we're verified. It is a one-off process, so you will need to do it only once. And yeah, verification is needed for your Transferwise account to become fully functional. This is to say that you will be able to send, spend, and receive money. And now I'll just walk you through the process of what the verification looks like. In this example, let's assume that I'm setting up the payment. So this calculator you've already seen, Julie showed you. So just when I hit continue, then it will take me to the first verification step where we actually ask for a bit more information about your business. So first up is we need to know your account purpose. For this, we also have a drop-down menu, and the options are like paying supplier, paying employees, paying rent, or just receiving money. So the options are there for you to choose. Next up, we also need to know the business owners. So you have two options here. If you're the only owner, then it's really easy. You already have your personal details. But if your business are owned by other people that own more than 25% of your company, then we also need to know their personal information. So in my example, let's say assume that there are other owners for my business. So in the next step, I will be required to enter the shareholder names. So for them, we also ask for their first and last name, date of birth, and country of residence. You can also see that you can enter multiple shareholders if there are more than one. And finally, also, if your company is owned by another business, then we will have to ask for the shareholders of that business until we get to the ultimate beneficial owners. So these are the information that we're gathering here. Now, once shareholders information is added, then we also need to know the business directors. And the form is actually the same. So you have two options, either enter the director details or just select that you're the only one. And lastly, if there's any other information that we need to gather from you, then we will request it via email. There are some additional documents that we sometimes need, but essentially our verification team, after they've done the review, they send you an email if anything else is needed. We also try to automate these processes as much as possible. So for instance, if you've given us sufficient information about your business, then we try to automate the verification by doing matching data with public sources. And for example, in the UK, we're already able to actually verify businesses automatically. But in any case, if anything else is needed, then our verification team will be in touch with you and ask for additional information. And also, if once we're able to verify your business, we also notify you via email. So this will mean the account is fully functional and set up. And here are just some other examples of verification documents that might be needed. So common ones would be ID document, proof of business address, and the business certificate. In most cases, we actually don't need to request those documents. So because they're like online business registries, then we can just compare the data that you have entered with the online registry. So that makes life easier, and that's why it's important to enter all the details as accurately as possible. But that was it about the verification. Now, Christine also mentioned another step you need to take when you are registering a business in Estonia. And so one requirement is also to provide a share capital certificate, essentially to show that you have paid the share capital of your business. So I'm just going to also walk you through the process of getting the certificate. Previously, it was available only for banks to issue this document, but now with the recent regulation change, any credit or payment institution can also issue this, which means that we can also do it. So on the right side, you can see what the document looks like. It's in Estonian as required, and essentially our business support team can provide you one. So if you take me to the next slide, then I will show you exactly how it works. So as a first step, you will need to open a euro balance on your Transferwise account. So you will see the option to do this when you have logged into your business account, and you just choose that you want to activate your euro balance. And you can see that as well that the euro balance will come with IBAN and SWIFT code. Now, the next step would be getting bank details. So bank details allows you to receive money in all those different currencies that Julie mentioned. There are 6 altogether. We're working on adding more. And here is actually where you also need to pay to get the bank details activated. So it costs around 20 euros to activate all the bank details at once. So that's a one-off charge you will need to pay. And once your Transferwise Euro account details are activated, then you actually just need to log into your online banking, wherever it is, and make a bank transfer from your online banking to the Transferwise Euro account that you have activated. And as mentioned before, then the minimum share capital amount is 2,500 euros. And some other important things to note here is that the share capital must be paid by one of the shareholders of the business. It can be paid by multiple and in several parts, but the name must match. And then the transfer has to also include a reference that says share capital contribution or osakapitali sissemakse in Estonian. And yeah, the reference must be there because otherwise we cannot issue the certificate. And finally, when the money has cleared to your balance, then you can contact our business support team and request for them to issue the certificate. So you can email us, you can call us. Usually there's also a chat option available. So our business support team can just check your account, check that the money has been paid, and then issue and send you this certificate that you need to provide. And that's it.
That's all from Transferwise. We'll be able to send this deck to Christina as a follow-up and include the special link to get your free transfer and sign up to Transferwise if you're interested.
Yeah, thank you. And let's go on with the presentation. Not the presentation, actually questions and answers. And we have quite many. So and also for Transferwise. So let's get started with those. I have Gustavo here who is asking about the share capital. They have 4 founders and the share capital is 2,500 euros. Each founder owns 25%. And they ask how can we pay one of the founders for engagement in a specific project. So as I understand, then you are perhaps want to include another founder. I can share information about that later on with you as well over email because it's more detailed. But as Lisbeth really nicely explained, then the share capital contribution is done from the founders. Founders are transferring their part to a Transferwise account, making sure that in the details it's a share capital contribution. And now if you want to include new partners or new shareholders, then this can be done either by share sales or by share capital increase. So there are 2 different options how to do it. But I will talk to you about that a bit later on. So then we have, okay, Ashish is asking about UK company, what are the documents required? So if somebody sets up an UK company and can also open Transferwise account for the UK company in our MyOneOps portal. But the documents that the person needs is a passport copy or ID card copy. In Estonia, you need to have the Eresidency Card copy. And then in UK, you also have to present proof of address, your proof of address. And basically, I can also reply to Ash's other questions about UK later on, because I think the other people are more interested about the Estonian part. So we have a question whether Estonian company is suitable for Amazon or dropshipping business. So the answer is yes. You can basically do any business with the Estonian company, any legitimate business. The only thing with one office is that we do select who we provide services to, and we are not able to provide services to high-risk country residents or somebody who has been born in high-risk country. And high-risk countries come from FATF lists like Iran, North Korea, Pakistan, and so on. And I guess Transferwise also has similar restrictions about who they can onboard as their clients, right?
Yeah, right. There are some restrictions.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, I was muted. Yes, we have restrictions, and we do sanctions screenings and PEP screenings. So there's the list that you mentioned is also accurate for us.
Yeah, so be prepared to have a like double KYC or due diligence process. One is through one office, and the other is also in the fintech provider or Transferwise side. So this is the this is something that just you have to go through in the world like we live in today. So we have a question for Transferwise about how to send money from personal account in India to company account in Estonia. So Ashutosh is asking that.
Lisbeth, do you want to take this one?
Sure. So there are actually a couple of different ways how that can be done. So if the person in India is using currency, their local currency, INR, then actually we have started supported transfers also from INR to Euro. So basically what he or she can do is they can set up a new transfer on Transferwise from INR to Euro. So what they will have to do is they will pay INR to our Indian bank account, and we pay out to the recipient in Estonia to the IBAN. So that's one way of doing it. But also if this person is, for example, already holding euros in India, then they can also make a payment to their own European bank details, also in Transferwise. So just make an international bank transfer in euros directly to the account. So there are a couple of different ways of going about it, depending on the currency and how the transfer is set up.
There's a whole section on INR transfers in our help center. So if you go to transferwise.com/help, and then you type INR, you'll get a whole guide on how to make a payment funded from INR to GBP.
Great. Gustavo is giving praise, saying it is scary, simple, and fast, and payments are done within few hours, very easy to navigate. So kudos to Transferwise.
Thanks for the feedback. Very nice.
I have Lloyd here who is asking, is there a possibility to partner up with Transferwise to access the African market?
So we'll send you our personal details with our email, and there's also a link to our LinkedIn. So feel free to get in touch, and we can explore the partnership, of course.
And then Abrar is asking, can banks send me money in Transferwise just like they do to any other bank accounts?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So this is the whole point. Sorry, Elizabeth. This is the whole point of the local account details. So if your bank needs to make a payment with euros, for example, you would send them your IBAN that you get through Transferwise. If you needed to receive GBP, so British pound, you would give them your sort code and account number just after activating your local account details like Lisbeth showed you. And you can also receive payments in USD, Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, and Singapore dollar. So there's a total of 6 currencies that you can receive just like any other bank account.
Then Christian has a question, can the company be with multiple shareholders, and do they all have to have the residency? So the answer is yes. You can set up Estonian company with as many founders, shareholders as you decide. But in order to do that online, everybody have to have the residency cards. Okay. Genichi is asking, is subscription service available? I want to collect money from customers' credit card, debit card, monthly by euros, UK pounds, in euros, UK.
So we don't have a payments gateway like Stripe does, or PayPal for that matter, but what you can do is you can use your Transferwise account together with Stripe. So for instance, you can collect the card payments to your Stripe account, and then you can send money from Stripe to Transferwise, and then do the currency conversions and withdrawals from your Transferwise accounts. Because I know that Stripe's rates, conversion rates aren't that great. They're, I think, around 2%. So it makes sense to use the two accounts together.
So this is really basically using your local account details again as the account in which all of the funds that you will receive through the card payments and through your acquirer will go directly to your Transferwise account. So you can use it there, but you can't receive directly a card payment into your Transferwise account. You will need to have another provider do that bit of acquiring.
So Alain is writing, hi Judy, quick question. I have a partner who is banking with Banque Populaire Rive Droite de Paris. I hope my pronunciation was a little bit close to French, and could not make payment toward for me using Transferwise. What could be the issue? Is it issue from your side or their side? So basically, the French bank wasn't able to send money to Transferwise.
So the issue might be that to issue our local account details, we actually partner with a bank in Belgium. So they need to be able to make a payment in euros to a Belgium located physical account. So that just needs to be enabled on your side. But it's still a euro to euro payment, and there's no additional fees. It's just that technically we're not located in France, we're located in Belgium. So that might be the issue.
Okay, so the French bank should be, in the French bank, you should check the settings when you make the payment.
Basically. Yes, and make sure that you can make a payment to other SEPA countries, not just in France.
Hi, Rainer. So nice to see you at the webinar. He has a question for Transferwise. What is the limit per transfer?
So this depends on the currency. So for instance, the majors like GBP, Euro, USD, to send these currencies, the limits are really high. They're, I think, up to 1 million. But then again, some more exotic currencies like Filipino peso, Thai baht, these may have like lower limits. So it really depends on the currency. When it comes to receiving money to your Transferwise accounts, then for 5 currencies, besides the USD, there are no limits, so you can receive any amount. But for USD, for business, the limits are 3 million USD per transfer and 5 million USD per year. So it varies by currency. But also on our support center, help center, we have like currency pages, and all these have like what the limits are, what the speed of the transfer is, and any additional information can be found there.
Okay, so Ashish has a question. Are you opening bank account for entity which are based outside of Estonia? So I know that you are opening bank accounts or business accounts for UK companies, but do you also open accounts for any other European entities, for instance?
Yeah, so we support a huge number of countries actually. It just depends on where this person has registered their business. Maybe we can give a better response based on where they are. But yeah, I mean, technically most of the countries are supported, apart from the ones that you could imagine.
All right. So Mariano is giving praise again. He loves Transferwise, and he has a question, 2 questions actually. One is, can I only add one company to my name? So that I guess it's the personal account which can be linked only to one company. And the Argentine regime banned Transferwise? Question mark. I don't know, did they ban it? So let's start with the first one. Can I add more companies to my personal Transferwise account?
Yeah, so I can take this one. So at the moment, you will need to sign up each business with a separate email address. So you will create different accounts for your business. But once the businesses have been signed up, then Julie mentioned that we have the multi-user access. So what you can do is you can make, so one company will be in your name, and then you can also make yourself an admin of the other company, which gives you like equal rights as the personal account holder. So this means that you can only use like one login to access your Transferwise accounts, and you can manage the different business accounts from one login. But for the initial registration, you still need to sign up twice with 2 different emails.
All right, that's good to know actually. And the second question was the Argentine regime ban Transferwise ? Did they ban Transferwise in Argentina, or what's the case there?
I think that we are supporting transfers to Argentina at the moment. There were some issues during the elections, if I remember correctly, but at the moment it should be possible. But this can be always checked online.
Transfers has not been banned in Argentina. It's just that you can send payments to Argentina, but not from Argentina, if that's helpful.
Okay. So Ashish Kumar is asking, is United Arab Emirates high-risk country? No, it isn't. It's not in that list.
We actually just launched the currency we just launched AED as a currency a few months ago for consumers, and it will be developed for businesses in the very near future too.
So Verena is asking, is there a way to receive money in USDs or euros from countries outside US and EU without horrendous fees? For instance, from a country like Rwanda, so I guess like from exotic African countries. Is it possible to receive money without big fees?
So I can take this one. So in Transferwise account, you can accept euros from wherever in the world. But that being said, like if the money is coming, and we don't charge anything for receiving money, so there are no fees that Transferwise charges. That being said, if let's say the euros are sent to you from Rwanda, then your sender is still making an international SWIFT transfer that is coming from outside the SEPA area, which means that the international SWIFT fees, which are usually can be like $10 to $30, then these may still be deducted by the sending and intermediary banks, but Transferwise doesn't charge. Now, because she also asked about USD, then USD mainly can be received only from the US, and there are about 10-15 whitelisted countries where USD can currently be received from outside the US. So Rwanda is not on that list, but some bigger countries like China, UAE, and European countries are on that list where you can receive dollars from. So that works slightly different also depending on the currency. But Transferwise doesn't charge for receiving.
Yeah, I think the main point to be important point is here that if there are so many partner banks involved, then it means that everybody wants to get their share.
Exactly, and we don't control the SWIFT network. So unfortunately, if you need USD outside of the US, that will have to be via SWIFT. So we keep our fees as low as possible, but we're not in control of the other fees that might be applied.
All right. So Delmira is asking about getting Estonian ID. So I guess it's about the residency. It is an initial payment of 2,500 euros. So actually the e-residency card application costs only 120 euros. It's a state fee. And this 2,500 euros, which we are speaking about, is share capital. And this is a founder's contribution to start the company. But it's not the initial payment. So you can do this 2,500 euros transfer at any time you want once the company is registered. So it's not the initial payment of the e-residency card. The initial payment of e-residency card is only 120 euros. And if we do speak about the Estonian company setup costs, then these are around 500, 600 euros, depending what is the company structure there. And the maintenance costs are also like 500 to 1,000 euros, depending on the nature of business, whether company needs accounting or not. So these would be the initial payments to set up everything. So Philip is asking, is there an option to grant access to accounts for employees, like the company accountant in Transferwise?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have multi-user access, so you're able to add other people to view your account, or if they're an accountant and you would like them to also make payments on your behalf, then you simply add them as an admin. They'll just need to create a personal profile with Transferwise, and then they can be added to the business account.
Mm-hmm. And Simeon is asking, can a company registered in Zimbabwe open a borderless account? So I guess this is related to the previous questions.
I need to check. Do you know Lisbeth for Zimbabwe?
I'm afraid it's not possible by default, but if you want, you can get in touch with us via LinkedIn or via email, and we can discuss if we can make an exception. Because I think Zimbabwe is not supported for like customers to self-onboard, but we may be able to help depending on how you want to use the account.
Mm-hmm. Nice. And finally, we have a question from Avo, who is asking, when will you accept cryptocurrency? I don't know if it's for one office or for Transferwise, but I guess we can both answer. We don't onboard cryptocurrency businesses because we only onboard those cryptocurrency businesses where we actually understand what the business is about. If the cryptocurrency business is too complicated and we actually don't know how to do accounting for that, then we say no to the cryptocurrency businesses. And I guess this is the same with Transferwise, that there are some restrictions because of the nature of cryptocurrency business.
Yes, unfortunately, it's outside of our risk appetite. So we don't onboard businesses who deal with crypto in any kind of way, and we won't either make payments in cryptocurrencies. That's not at all on the roadmap.
Mm-hmm. All right, I guess. So one last question arrived. So how can I get a business card when I'm physically located in South Africa, for instance? So Transferwise business card.
Yeah, so if you have an Estonian registered business, then you're eligible for the business card, but we can only ship the card to European Economic Area. So you would need to choose a delivery address that is in Europe, and then we will deliver the card there, and it will be up to you like how you can get it sent to South Africa. So it isn't impossible, but it's not something that we can help you with because we can only deliver or like ship it to Europe.
Actually, if you are using a service provider, then perhaps service provider can help you out. We know that our clients, when the Transferwise cards are shipped here to our office, they have addresses here, then we are happy to help and resend the card to your address using courier, so that it's safe and secure as well. So just reach out to your service provider, or if the service provider can't help, then reach out to me and we can see a solution. So we are out of time already. Thank you all for joining us. Here's my email address if you want to have other questions. We will send the recording tomorrow out as well, so we'll have the contacts and can reach us. And I tried to go over the other questions that I didn't have time to review just now. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you, Julie, Umi, and Lisbeth for joining us, and prosperous business for us all, and let's stay safe.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thanks. Bye.